So guys, here is my short conclusion about what is good and what is bad in this really cool game. Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon. So what is good? First of all, it is strong story and gray morality. From the very first hours, you start to see the outlines of a difficult choice you may have to make later. The game's morality is entirely gray. If you witness brutal cruelty and want to find the culprits to punish them, you'll likely hear alternative point of view later that makes you seriously wonder whether things could have been any different. As you progress through the story and quests, you often have to rack your brain over what to do, because it's often unclear who is good or bad, or what outcome your decision will lead to. Everyone has their own truth. The game constantly pushes you to ask yourself a question: what would I do in such circumstances? Here and there, you make decisions that will affect the fate of the entire kingdom. The game has about a dozen endings. There's also a secret true ending that isn't all that hard to get. Another good point is immersive dark fantasy atmosphere. From the first minutes, you feel you're in a world full of cruelty and injustice. Dark cults, madness, black magic, cold-blooded killers, grotesque monsters, human experiments, the living dead, brutal barbarians, plague, and the Inquisition, all present here. The soundtrack underscores it well. This game also has plenty of quests, and they're generally done well. They aren't painfully tedious and offer variety. Some lead to moral choices and have multiple endings, some include a good portion of humor, and some are simple kill the bandits or gather resources tasks. And of course, there are quest lines that let you romance certain characters. Another great thing is flexible character building. There are many skill trees across different categories, giving you lots of build variety. There's even a hidden tree you can unlock in Act 2 by completing a specific quest chain. Building your character is fun. You can create mage rogue warrior hybrids and mix weapons. The developers also kept progression brisk. By the end of the game, if you finish most quests, you can realistically hit level 60 or even 70 plus. Combined with the flexible build options, this pace pushes you to keep exploring and questing to unlock more skills and grow stronger. Earlier, I covered the game's strengths, but now I'd like to lay out its shortcomings, of which there are plenty. First of all, despite the fact that the game is polish, it is not well polished. Texture bugs persist here and there, some map areas are poorly planned and need more content, and quests are unevenly distributed. You may find few while exploring a location, but the moment you enter a city, you're bombarded with dialogue and NPCs dumping their problems on you. Another point is poor balance. If you clear most side quests and level up aggressively, you'll feel overpowered halfway through the game. Once that happens, further progression loses its thrill and the game becomes less engaging. It's also worth mentioning the problems with the third act. Acts 1 and 2 are strong, but Act 3 falters. It isn't terrible, but it's clearly weaker. Perhaps the developers didn't account for the fact that by the time players reach the final zone, they're tired, over-leveled, and well-geared. What greets them in Act 3 is an unwelcoming region with poor snow textures and gray, uninspiring scenery. Not everyone will want to delve into the problems faced by the tribes or digest yet more lore about giants, so the temptation to rush through Act 3 and reach the finale is strong. Having completed the game and weighed its strengths and weaknesses, I came to the following conclusion. For its story, atmosphere, and gray morality, Tainted Grail. The Fall of Avalon can be forgiven almost anything, and there's plenty to forgive. Minor texture bugs persist, some map areas are poorly planned, content is thin in places, and balance remains rough. The game isn't fully polished. The upside is that the developers are still patching the game and adding content. Overall, this title genuinely surprised me and gave me far more than I expected. So I think the game is great, and I can recommend it to every RPG fan. Thank you for watching. Play good games, stay healthy, and may you have peaceful skies overhead.